the girls winning the World Cup. I've been telling people it is the 1983 in 2025 when Kapil Dev was holding the trophy in the Lord's balcony. It had a shift in the way people saw cricket, and I'm sure when Harman and the girls held the World Cup trophy, there'll be a big change across our culture with regards to letting the girls play sport, and that's what we want to do as RCB, to show people hope that take the sport up, you can do something big.
Big Basket presents RCB Bold Diaries.
Okay, so they say, if you believe in sayings, that championships are won at the auction table rather on the field. Just don't tell the players that, but you can definitely tell the coaches and the support staff that. Okay, first and foremost, congratulations on the official position, the designation, but you've been involved with RCB men and women's for a long time now. And you're like an auction veteran. Will this be like your 10th or have you already done 10?
Yeah, I think I've lost count, to be honest, but thank you for the wishes, but I think it should be closer to 10 now with the IPL and the WPL.
Does it get any easier for you? Like, do you have your own preparation for auctions?
I mean, see, I think the whole process is always very challenging and very enjoyable because you have people in the room, different opinions. You have, in the case of the WPL, you have Smriti, who's a captain. She has a point of view. Smriti is fully keyed in, giving as much intel as she can. Very clear on the way we want to play. Every year is different, every auction is different, and the cards always dealt. You just have to play what you've been dealt with. So it's pretty enjoyable. I really enjoy it because you have to find a solution. And luckily we have good people in the room, a very, very experienced captain. We've retained a good co. So happy days till now.
So you're like exuding a certain amount of confidence, but one would think that at the auction, there are other players, right, in the room, there are other teams. So from that perspective, when your things don't go to plan, is there plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Like how much of that is planning and how much of it is your own personal instinct when it comes to those pressure situations?
I think that's a very, very good question. What I've learned in these last 10 years and working with a lot of people is one thing to have a strategy, but being sure of what you don't want is also important. The easiest thing is to sit in a room together with a lot of people who know what they're doing and come up and set up about 7-8 different combinations. The key is knowing how you want to play, what brand of cricket you want to associate RCB with, and then, like I said earlier, knowing what you don't want. You have our analyst who gives us a objective point of view. Then you have people like myself, Anya, and our other coaches in RX and Sunetra who are very, very experienced. They come in with their expert wisdom. So we try to triangulate this kind of wisdom and input, and obviously Rajesh, who plays a very, very important part, because we've always said this and felt that Rajesh is very, very logical in what he brings. So he always checks for logic in everything, and now with him also being involved in so many auctions, he's got a feel for it, for being with RCB for longer than me, I'm sure, but he's also got a feel of what it takes to win. So it is very interesting.
You have, for the men's team, played the role of being a scout. I want to ask how important that is women's cricket, because the pool is not as big as men's cricket is. The data, for example, might be limited to certain tournaments. So this is a big auction after the first one. You're rebuilding a team, you're rebuilding a unit. So knowing what's happening in the domestic circuit, is the team that knows that the best? Would they be a team that comes out on top? And what was your process for RCB in this, the scouting or the data when it came to a lot of the domestic uncapped players as well?
Yeah, first of all, I don't see it as different, the process, because this is, after all, the world's premier T20 franchise tournament. So as far as RCB is concerned, we try to treat it equally to the processes that we set in the IPL. So we have a set of 5 scouts, even in the WPL setup, who watch every tournament as much as they can. So we've watched the various state leagues that have happened. We've watched, currently there's the under 23 that's happening as we speak. Equivalent of the T20 happened a month back. So as far as the process is concerned, you still want as many people watching, as many players, and you want a different view. And what you need to understand when we are identifying talent is, you can't, there will be an obvious talent that's shouting out, be it men's or women. But the key thing is, you should, one, you should be aware of the talent. Number two is to figure out if that talent fits into your team.
Obviously, there will be so many eyes on this WPL auction because they are World Cup winners that are technically up for grabs. I just want to marry that with something you said earlier, which was, this is the brand of RCB. So if you look at your brand and the players that you've retained in Smriti Mandhana, Elise Perry, Richa Ghosh, so World Cup winners there, Shriyanka Patil, their temperament when it comes to big match situations and big match players. Now, how can you always look to, let's say that that's the only brand when you look at certain players? Because the women's game is a lot about all-rounders as well. So are you only looking at it from that perspective, or are you also looking at it, okay, what do we not have that could bring a new dimension? As a team, are you willing to be flexible from that perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. See, you look at our retentions. The brand of cricket we're talking about is how we conduct ourselves on the field of play. If you're batting, there's a vision that RCB has that will excite fans, it will excite people who are seeing the sport. So that's the vision, that you want to inspire people to take up the sport. Not to forget, why are we here? We're here to win the WPL. So you try to build a team that helps you achieve that. So in our retentions, we believe we've got a good core. We're able to have a clear vision of where we want to go into the auction, what we need to get. See, it really does help when you have 3 World Cup winners in our 3 players. And Shriyanka, again, she's a WPL winner. She played a very, very key role in us winning the WPL in 24, being the purple cap. So it does help having a lot of winners because under pressure moments, you want people who are able to handle pressure. What is pressure? Is pressure when you don't know what's going to happen. And at the time, if somebody is able to take a breath and just control what they can do, that comes out of experience and resilience. So we want to be able to pick players who we think will fit our style of play. If they happen to be World Cup winners, very good. But the most important,
the scouting World Cup winners. There, I got that.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but we want to have as many players who fit our style of play.
How much do you have to check into players who are on the auction list when you're, checking about fitness, and are those sort of conversations also go on?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you see what we try to do in the trials itself is the players that we've invited, we try to, from an objective point of view, make sure all data is available on the field. We get our SNC and our medical team stuck in and get as much.
So all that is done before the auctions. Yeah.
We try to do as best as we can a psychological evaluation of the players also, having an understanding of what the pressures are, because when RCB plays, we know this crowd, and it's a completely different kettle of fish. So you can't prepare for that, but at least because you have to experience it.
You prepared for it in the coaching role this time with the attention that you will get, and you'll definitely get attention after the auction as well, based on, I guess, what are your decisions?
See, I mean, it's not to discount what the attention is inevitable. You have to, that's the gig, this is the gig, the attention, the decisions. So I'm very aware of what might be the perception from outside. But for me, what matters is what's happened inside the room, what we've decided, and how much of it we are able to execute in the auction tomorrow. So I do understand and I do acknowledge that there will be attention, but I think I've learned to develop a good relationship with the attention that comes through mediums that I don't have control over. So I welcome the attention and I welcome anything that comes my way.
Obviously, you're very well aware of your own purse.
Yeah.
Do you have to keep track of other teams and their purses, right?
Absolutely.
So you know which player is coming up next in what set and who's left with what.
Absolutely.
So you know who's in the race.
So that's why I tell you it's such a dynamic place, the auction. So you have to be aware of what the other team, what money is left with them. With the players they've picked, what does their team look like? So how much are they going to prioritize a particular role? Then, like you said, who's coming next? Are they part of our plans or not? So you have to be on top of this when the auction is happening. I've learned this again just with my interaction with a lot of coaches over there. As much as you try to simplify things, it's better. It's very easy, especially in big auctions, mega auctions, where you have to pick more than 7 or 8 players, you could become really geeky and nerdy and smart and come up with different combinations. As long as you're able to simplify it, I think we'll be in a good place. But yeah.
Stick to the basics. Simplicity in the chaos.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the auction. All the best. We'll of course chat tomorrow as well. But thanks so much for your pre-auction thoughts as well.
Thank you so much.
Big Basket presents RCB Bold Diaries.